All right, let's get going. I'm just going to do a quick recap from day one. So I tried to post day two last night, but I had some issues with my streaming setup. The camera was just delaying like crazy. So I'm just going to switch gears here and do day two and day three all on the same day. I'm on my lunch break right now from work, so I'm just going to do a quick little stream of where I'm going to start out, and then I'll do day three's content, which is going to be actually sending out the email. So just as a recap, I am starting a 50K a month side hustle in wholesaling real estate while I'm working a full-time job, director of marketing for a real estate education company. Been in the real estate space for about 4 years, but I'm a marketer by trade. So I really got introduced to real estate, but really my primary is marketing. And if you've ever been in wholesale real estate or real estate investing in general, you know that it's a sales and marketing game. So I kind of just mapped out all my numbers here. I'm just going to pull this over so you can take a peek at it. But I just mapped out all my numbers here. No, don't want to close that. Mapped out all my numbers for what it's going to take for me to get to 50K a month. And how I'm doing that is I need to build a leverage business. I'm going to take excess profits and buy rentals. Again, the whole point of me doing this 50K a month side hustle is so I can go out and buy real estate. The company that I actually work with allows you to buy real estate, basically passive, hands-off, turnkey. I need roughly about 50 to 90K in capital in order to buy a deal, and we're getting pretty good returns over the lifetime of having that. So I'm just going to buy rentals there. So I don't need to be a landlord. I don't need to manage them. I don't need to really deal with them at all. I just have to bring money to the table. So I'm going to take excess profits from the wholesaling business, buy rentals. The goal is to get roughly about 20 rentals, which will replace all of my income and all of my needs for my family. And I can pull that out and continue to build that further and further. And then goal number 3 is I'm going to use no money, none of my own money for this challenge. So that's what I'm going to be doing today is in order to get 6 assigned deals a month, which I roughly need about 12 contracts. I need 240 leads a month or 8 leads a day. And that's going to cost me roughly about $12,000 a month in marketing. And again, like I said, I'm not going to use any of my own money for this challenge. I'm either going to use sponsors' money, I'm going to go out and network and collaborate with other investors or with agents to get money for marketing. So step 3 is what I'm doing for today, is I'm going to compile a list of the top agents in Florida, which is where I'm going to be doing my deals. I live here in Arizona, super saturated market. A lot of agents are investors and so on and so forth. There's just not as much deal flow as I really want to hit my target. I could do it here, but it's going to be expensive. I'd much rather do it in Florida where I've had some success before. I've done a couple of wholesale deals. I've ran a wholesale business, but I'm working this job full time now and not running the business full time. I'm going to just take some of those lessons that I learned and do it as a side hustle. So I got about 20 minutes left here during my lunch, so I'm just going to stream what I'm going to do here for this, and then after work, I'll do another stream on the actual email outreach. So just again, as a recap, I'm going to be reaching out to agents that are already spending money on marketing. These agents typically are wanting more listings. They want to cherry pick, and I just want to cherry pick the wholesale deals out of that. I want to send all of the deals that end up being listings, which means, I run the comps, the numbers don't really work out, and just send those to the agents. So I don't have to deal with those. They don't clog up my pipeline. And that's how I'm going to go out and get money for marketing. So I need $12,000 a month in marketing, which most likely means I'm going to have to find a handful of agents in different counties. The way I'm going to break this down is I'm going to have an agent. I'll start with Orlando because it's the most popular, but I'm going to look at a couple of different counties across Florida, and I'm just going to reach out and try to get one agent per county. So if I look at Florida here, there's a bunch of different counties. Florida counties. There's a bunch of different counties. I want to end up doing wholesale deals across the entire state of Florida, but I'm going to start with like the most popular ones in terms of deal volume, which I just looked up inside of Privy, and I can find, where the most popular areas are in terms of doing deals. So I'm going to start with Orange, Osceola, Polk, Hillsborough, Lake, Seminole, Volusia, kind of this area here, and then I'll expand down here to like Broward, Dade County, Palm Beach, Manatee, Sarasota. So like I'll start middle here, then I'll go south, and then probably pick up some panhandle stuff up here. What Tallahassee's over here. This would be like Jacksonville, that type of stuff. So Duval County, because this is where I've had some success before. I know deals are moving pretty quickly in the Orlando area, so I'm going to start out there. And I'm frozen. Okay, I think I'm back. Okay, cool. I'm back. I need to get a better stream setup here. So let's keep rolling. All right, so let's start with Orange County. I'm going to do top real estate agents in Orange County. Is Orange County mostly Orlando? Let's see. What county is Orlando for? I'm going to start with Orlando. So, yeah, it's in Orange. Orange County, Florida. I think that's this one here. So basically, I'm just going to start compiling a list of agents. So top 50 agents. So I need $12,000 a month in marketing costs. So roughly that means most agents are probably spending 3 to 5K. So we'll say on low end I need, and I'm only going to do one agent county just to keep it exclusive. So so let's take a peek back here. Top real estate agents. So I'm just going to make a list of all the agents, and then I'm going to go find their email addresses. Let's see, what's the best way to copy this? I'm just going to move this to, I'm going to do separate screens. So I can just type in the name. So I need roughly about 50 here. I might need to go get more, but Cregan, Jeffrey G. Funk, Spray. Just gonna close a couple things out here I don't need, so the stream stops lagging. Alright, then we are on. I'm making a video right now, or I'm streaming right now. What do you need? Okay, you didn't have to come all the way over here to tell me that. Auntie want what? What else do you want? Okay, so what do you want me to do about it? What do you want? If you don't know what you want, if you don't want to eat it, don't eat it.
Where do I put it?
Just leave it on the counter.
Okay.
David Dorman. Alright, so I got about 8 agents now. I'm going to keep going until I get 50, and then I'll show you the process of how I go about finding their email addresses. And I'm just going to be doing email outreach here. There's probably better ways to go out and find this. Like, I can go scrape it. I can do a bunch of different things. I'm just going to do it the manual way right now because most of those tools I probably have to pay something for. And again, I'm trying to do this with no money out of pocket. One of the important things to remember, especially like when starting something new, is like think about it as like uh, launching a rocket. Like there's a certain amount of velocity that it takes for a rocket to escape the atmosphere. Whatever that math computation was, I used to remember it. It's like something 11 point something meters a second for a rocket to escape Earth's gravity. Starting a new business is very similar. From my experience, I started a business. We did, a few $1 million in revenue, and it's just a lot of grinding. Like, there's no way around it. There's no way. I mean, yeah, you could use money and go and hire people and get around it that way, but really, there's no way around it. Like, even that is a grind because you got to go find the people. You got to do the interviews. I guess you just really depend. You pick what hard you want when you start a business. So you can do like you can grind it out this way, where you're not using much money, and you got to do the manual work. While you have time, like on your lunch breaks, like I am, or in your off hours, or if you're doing it full time, like you gotta make the commitment and build the schedule for it. You really just have to expend a certain amount of energy, however that is translated, in order to get the thing off the ground. Because without that energy expansion, the rocket doesn't go anywhere. I mean, it sounds overly simplified, but most things are. Like, it's not very complicated technically to start a business. Like, there's a lot of dumb people out there that have started successful businesses, and really anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. You just got to figure out what level of effort you want to put into it. That's why like all the startup companies you see, like they go out and raise money because the hard that they want is pitching investors on a product that doesn't have product market fit. That's hard to do. Um, you see people that start small businesses. They don't have very much money, but like they go and get lines of credit. And depending on where your background is, sometimes it is hard to get those lines of credit. It's just expending energy to get the rocket off the ground. And that's how you get going. A lot of people just underestimate how much effort it's going to take to get something going. And the outcome of that is things just take longer than you expect. And if you're not committed to it, which, for the longest I wasn't in a lot of cases, that's why I've started a lot of businesses that have made a little bit of money but haven't really gone anywhere scale wise, is because I wasn't putting in the amount of effort it required to get it going. And I drastically underestimated how much effort it would take to get that thing going and keep it going. Because again, just to use the rocket analogy, because it's the best way to explain it, is that rocket has to expend energy all the way until it gets into orbit. Once it gets into orbit, it just needs course corrections to keep it going. But it doesn't need to expend, thousands and millions of gallons of fuel once it's in orbit. It really just needs to manage that orbit once it's there. And that's very similar to how businesses are, is it just needs to manage that orbit once you get to a certain level. So, almost done here. I'm at 42 agents. and then I'm going to start detailing how I go out and find their email addresses for outreach. And then later on today, I will do, I'll show you kind of some of the messaging that I'll use and how I'm doing the outreaches. Go, dog. Yeah. Go. And what I'm doing is no different than like looking for investors for a business. I'm having to go out and pitch people to give me money. The real difference in what I'm doing versus going out and raising capital is it's a clear win-win with very low risk for an agent. Because if you think about it, I mean, where the risk is like if you're not good at marketing and you can't get any listing leads, like you don't know anything about PPC, I guess that could be risky. But I've run ads for a decade now, so it doesn't feel very risky for me because I have the skill set for it. But there's a clear translation in value for agents on why they would want to pursue this. If you think back to like Alex Hermosi's book, $100 Million Offers, he talks about making no-brainer offers. Agents already want more listings, and they're already spending money on marketing, typically in a place that's not getting a high ROI. So like my prime prospect is going to be someone that's spending money with like Zillow or some of these low ROI sources that they've just been doing because they work and they don't want to give up that source of lead gen, and they would much rather spend that money in a place that gets them a better ROI. And what I'm offering is going to give them a better ROI. It's going to save them more time because they're not having to qualify any of these people, because I'm actually going to get on the phone with all of the leads like during lunch breaks and off hours, and I'm gonna pitch them a cash offer, and eventually I'll have a VA that does this. And okay, so that's 59 people. I think one of them was repeated, so that's 59 agents. That's plenty. So I'm gonna go out and get emails. But basically, I mean, these agents already want listings. They're probably spending money on low yield ROI. So as a marketer, I want to get them a better return on their money. So spend it with me. I'll give you leads that are basically on a silver platter, and you don't have to do as much work as you're currently doing to go out and close these listings. I'll just hand them over to you in exchange for a monthly marketing fee. So a little bit different than an agency. Agency is going to take that money, plus they're going to have to pay for ad spend. So with a monthly retainer plus ad spend to go out and find them listings, so that ROI comes down. I only want the monthly ad spend, and I'm going to make my money off the investment deals. They're going to make more than their money back on the listings, and they're also I'm going to give them a credit back for their listings. So their out of pocket is basically going to be $0. And I get the investment deals without having to spend any of my own money on marketing. They get listings where they're spending a little bit of money on marketing, so there's some risk there for them, but it's a very small amount of risk. If they get one listing, average commissions in Florida is 10 to 14 grand. I mean, that's 6 months of paid ad spend back in commissions already. So even if worst case scenario, they get 2 listings over the course of a year after paying me $2,500, they're no money out of pocket for those 2 listings, and they're most likely going to get referrals from those. They're going to get more exposure. There's other things that will happen if, worst case scenario, they only get 2 listings, which most likely won't happen, because if I'm only closing 1 out of 12, that means there's 11 opportunities for an agent to step in, and it may just turn out where, hey, I'm not sending them enough guaranteed listings where I've talked with someone, I pitched the listing and said, hey, go work with my agent Tori or Allie, or Lee or Brendan or Nomar or one of these agents that I end up working with, and I just start sending them all of my dead leads that I can't either get to pick up the phone, I can't get to convert, the numbers just don't work out, and I send that over to the agent, and they're able to flip those into listings. That's a win-win for them. We'll count that as one of their listings. So Michael takes 11 of those leads. He's able to turn one listing out of it, and it wasn't one of the ones that I specifically handed over on a silver platter. He's still making money on that. So it's a no-brainer offer that, like, hey, I only want 1 out of 12. I only want 2 out of 10. Whatever those leads are that are investment deals, and the rest are going to agents, there's nothing lost there. And because I'm not spending the money on marketing, I'm not trying to go back and recoup a fee from the agent. I could charge we can do a partnership fee where I get a percentage of whatever their commissions are. But I want to make this such a no-brainer that it's like, no, I only want the money for marketing. I'll credit you back whatever you spend out of your commissions. But I don't want to take any money off the table on this. So, okay, so I got 58 agents here. I'm gonna go find email addresses for these people. So the way that I typically do this is I will just paste the agent's name in there, realtor, and it's gonna come up with like all their social profiles. The best place is always their website if you can find it. This guy was listed as number 1 on the list, so hopefully he's got his emails somewhere. And usually I'll tell you where I find it. So it's like hello@Cregan Group. I don't want to send it to their hello one. So I'm going to dig a little bit deeper and see if I can find it. The last time I did this took me about an hour. I don't have time to do a whole hour. I got to get back to work. But typically I'll look like on Facebook pages. I'll look at contact info, and sometimes like in the about or the page transparency, they'll have emails listed, or like on the sidebar, they'll have an email address listed. This guy doesn't have one, but I'm going to imagine most agents are all the same. So if I just took his email address, I'm going to guess that because his name is Chris, that his email address is just Chris@Cregan Group. Like it probably is not much more complicated than that. I can look at a couple of other places. Zillow typically doesn't have the email addresses listed on their contact profile. They'll have like links to it, back to their website, their blog, their Facebook, but usually they won't have an email address. So I have to dig a little deeper. Like if I go to his Facebook page again, see if he has a personal Facebook page. Nope, nothing there. Sometimes it's like in their Instagram. They'll have an email address in their Instagram. So I just dig around a couple of different places here, and I can typically find what I'm looking for. So I go here. Yeah, they don't have one listed. Let's see what their links are. Cregan Group, brokers here. Cregan Group houses. So nothing there. Realtor.com typically doesn't have it. There is this, like, this one might have it. Fast Expert. Like, there's these little micro sites that people set up for agents, and you can find an email address in here in these little microsites that are set up. These are basically like just to give them, so yeah, here it is right here, Chris@Cregan Group. So not super complicated to find that one. So then I'm just gonna go to the next one. I'm just gonna take Jeffrey G. Funk, and Google will sometimes, like if you do a bunch of these, it'll be like, hey, verify yourself. You look spammy because you're typing in the same things over and over and over, which is a name and agent. So I'm always going to the About Me pages. There we go. Jeff@jeffreyrfunk.com. Copy email address. Paste. Boom. So don't overcomplicate it. Again, I'm not spending any money doing this. I'm just taking a little bit of time during my lunch break to go out and find some of these email addresses. I'm just going to click here. This looks like their website. There's not a team page, but I'm going to go our agents. And Ben, let's meet Ben. There we go. There's his email. Copy email address. So you just rinse and repeat this whole thing until you get all the email addresses. I need to go actually eat some lunch so I can head back to work, but that's basically what I'm doing. I'm going to reach out to agents. I'm going to see if I can get some money for marketing. If you want to learn more about this strategy or this detail, or like how I'm doing this, you can go to, I'll put a link down in the description, but my buddy Ryan Fletcher has a program that shows you exactly how to do all of this. It's called Story Athlete. It's this partner program. You start out by getting this book for free. I'll put the link for that down below, and you can learn more about this. I'm just going to show you briefly how I'm finding this stuff and then reach out to agents. I'm not going to give away all of Ryan's IP on the stream, but if you want to go find out more of that, just click the link down in the description. You can go get either his ACS Masterclass, which is the best place to start, or you can get his book, learn more about it, and then you can see exactly why we're reaching out to agents, the psychology behind it, the scripts, the templates, everything that he's basically given to me to be able to do this. So that's it for me for now. I'm going to keep finding some of these agents. I'm going to grab some food, and then I will see you guys later on this evening.